Čili vítám se nových videí, dneska jsem kouknout na historické fotky, které by měly nám ukázat ty historii v jináčím světle.
Welcome to the History and Focus channel. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one. In the 1960s, some airlines offered bassinets attached to the overhead luggage compartments for babies on long flights. Secured by brackets, they allowed parents to rest while their children slept. Waterproof fabric suits were invented in the United States in 1948. The idea was to combine elegance and practicality, allowing men and women to dress well without...
Jo, takže obleky jste měli neto, jak se tomu říká, nepromokavý, kolíbky v letadle pro mimina.
Without worrying about the rain. Annie Edson Taylor, at 63 years old, became the first person to survive a trip over Niagara Falls inside a barrel in 1901. Seeking fame and fortune, she accomplished the feat on Independence Day. In 1971, a prankster altered the famous Hollywood sign. The change was made by covering parts of the letters with fabric, referencing a new California law that relaxed restrictions on a particular substance. In the 1930s, flour mills noticed that women were using sacks to make clothes for their children.
Hustý. Tak jelikož byli barevní krásně, tak proč ne?
Help, they started producing sacks with floral prints and even sewing instructions. A dog wears a helmet and sunglasses, while a German soldier adjusts a rifle in its paws in the early 1940s. The light-hearted scene contrasts with the military setting in the background. A 14-year-old American girl straightens her hair using an iron, a popular method in the 1960s before electric flat irons became common. Niagara Falls completely frozen in 1911. The harsh winter transformed the waterfall into a frozen landscape, allowing visitors to walk across the frozen riverbed. A bride walks among the rubble of her home destroyed by bombings in London on November 4th, 1940. Amid World War II, she moves determinedly towards her wedding. Cars parked at the Track restaurant in Los Angeles in the 1950s receive food via a conveyor belt. This innovative system allowed customers to be served directly inside their vehicles. Before computers, airline reservations were recorded manually, as seen in this scene from 1945. An employee updates a massive schedule board, while another answers calls to organize passengers' travel plans. Professional diver Courtney Brown pulls a 16-foot model of the Titanic. The replica was used for visual recreations of the famous shipwreck, aiding in studies and productions about the disaster. Isaac Newton Cyber rides in a cart pulled by an ostrich in 1920. The scene was captured as a postcard at Coston Ostrich Farm, a popular attraction in South Pasadena, California. Beach patrols inspect the length of women's swimsuits in the 1920s. As there were strict dress codes, women could be fined or expelled from the beach for wearing inappropriate clothing. A woman uses a phone installed in a Mercedes-Benz in the 1960s. Considered a luxury at the time, the device operated via radio and was accessible only to a limited number of users due to its high cost. An innovative 1960s helmet with a built-in communication tube, allowing motorcyclists to talk directly to passengers without shouting against the wind. Walt Disney interacts with a cat while holding a drawing of Mickey Mouse. The 1931 photo captures Disney promoting his iconic character in a casual setting. A vertical parking garage in New York, 1930. To deal with limited space and the growing number of cars, mechanical systems stacked vehicles, optimizing urban area usage. Marilyn Monroe kicks off a soccer match in England in 1957. Wearing an elegant dress, she catches the attention of the players and the audience, making the event even more memorable. A group of soldiers performs a wheelie with a car during an event in 1936, in what is considered the oldest documented photo of such a stunt. The scene catches the attention of spectators on the streets. A boy, with his head bandaged, writes "liar" on the wall of a dentist's office that advertised itself as painless in the 1920s. His discontent makes it clear that the experience was not as smooth as promised. The Great Blizzard of North Dakota in 1966.
Kolik to má 20 metrů?
The storm covered the region in snow so deep that telephone poles were partially buried, creating an astonishing scene and making transportation difficult for days. Among the ruins of London in 1940, a milkman walks with his delivery as if nothing had changed. Amid the Blitz bombings, daily life continues, showing the resilience of Londoners during the war. Before GPS, drivers could get directions by phone, with operators consulting maps to provide detailed routes. This service was popular in busy cities like London in 1963. Before alarm clocks became widespread, knocker-ups walked the streets, tapping on customers' windows to wake them up. This service was common in Britain and Ireland between the 19th and mid-20th centuries. A man holds a punt gun, a large shotgun used for duck hunting. This weapon could kill over 50 birds with a single shot and was banned in the late 1860s. Two female ice delivery workers carried a large block of ice in September 1918. Before
A tohle je equality. Baby dělají těžkou práci, chlapi dělají těžkou práci.
Electric refrigeration, ice was essential for preserving food, and many women took on this job during World War I. A young woman walks along the Miami shoreline in the 1940s, wearing a short, modern swimsuit for the time. Sitting nearby, another woman dressed in longer clothing watches, highlighting the change in beach fashion. Robin Williams joins the Denver Broncos cheerleaders in 1979. Dressed in the full uniform, the actor participated in the performance as part of a comedic sketch for the television series Mork and Mindy. Alfred Hitchcock meets Leo the Lion, the MGM Studios mascot, in 1957. Known for his aversion to interviews, Hitchcock playfully poses in front of the iconic roaring feline, a multifunctional unit from 1951 combining a television, radio, and built-in bar. The concept aimed to bring convenience and sophistication to homes, allowing hosts to entertain guests without missing their favorite shows. French men at a cafe watch curiously as a bottle of Coca-Cola is served. The soft drink, still a novelty in the country, sparks expressions of skepticism and surprise in the early 1950s. Girls using portable dressing booths to change clothes on a public beach in 1929. These contraptions provided privacy for putting on swimsuits in places without proper changing rooms.
Předtím se to dalo vzít tak, ale teď, když 90... Dobře. Velké procento žen má OF, kde ukazují všechno, tak proč by se měli vůbec zahalovat, že?
Elvis Presley autographs a piece of paper resting on a boy's head as fans watch in Germany, 1959. During his military service in the country, the star remained surrounded by admirers wherever he went. This 1897 photo shows a little girl being pulled in a small cart by an alligator. At the time, exotic attractions like this were common in zoos and parks, where wild animals were used in unusual ways. Elvis Presley takes the oath as a soldier in the United States Army on March 24, 1958. Already a global star, his enlistment caused a sensation, but he served like any other recruit, spending 2 years on active duty. During Prohibition, bootleggers wore shoes with soles shaped like cow hooves to hide footprints and throw off authorities, making it harder to locate illegal distilleries. Colonel Sanders prepares his famous fried chicken in 1969 in Nashville, Tennessee. The founder of KFC popularized the secret recipe with 11 herbs and spices, turning his small business into a global empire. Harvey Ball, a graphic designer, created the famous smiley face in the 1960s for a corporate campaign. The symbol became a universal icon of positivity, appearing on stickers, T-shirts, and advertisements. Motorcycle chariot races in Australia, 1930s. Inspired by ancient Roman competitions, this sport emerged in the United States in 1922 and gained popularity after the 1925 film Ben-Hur, spreading to Australia and Europe. Men celebrate the end of Prohibition in the United States in 1933, when the alcohol ban was lifted after 13 years. Bars reopened legally, and scenes like this were repeated across the country, marking the return of alcoholic beverages. Audrey Hepburn strolls through a market accompanied by her unusual pet, a fawn named Pippin. The actress adopted the young deer after filming Green Mansions, and it became her inseparable companion. Billy Bomar and Uwe Kimmey of Howard Flying Circus walk on the wings of a biplane while it flies over New York in 1930. The group was famous for daring aerial stunts that defied gravity. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, holds a ball and a basket used in the game in 1939. Created in 1891 to keep athletes active during the winter, the sport evolved into one of the most popular worldwide. Skaters parade through the streets of New York in the 1940s, holding a sign encouraging the use of skates to save gasoline. During the war, campaigns like this promoted alternatives to reduce fuel consumption. A foreign boy learns to use a bow under the guidance of Kenyan warriors, while in another photo, he returns the favor by teaching a Kenyan boy how to hold a baseball bat. In 1962, acrobats balance atop the Empire State Building in New York during the 1930s. Amid the Great Depression, performances like this served as entertainment to distract people from the hardships of the time. The chimpanzee Ham poses for a photo after successfully returning from space in 1961. As part of the Mercury program, he was the first hominid to travel beyond Earth, helping pave the way for human flights. Fanny Cochran Smith, a Tasmanian Aboriginal woman, records traditional songs on a phonograph in 1903. Her recordings are the only surviving audio evidence of the Tasmanian language, preserving a nearly extinct cultural legacy. Photographers rarely visited frontier families, but when they did, the residents made sure to pose to showcase prosperity. The house was carved into the hillside, and a cow grazes on top. Two Japanese women pinch their noses while holding a picture of Winston Churchill in an anti-British propaganda campaign. During World War II, posters like this were used to ridicule enemy leaders. Madame de Courcelles became the first female taxi driver in Paris in 1909. At a time when few women drove, she defied norms and navigated the streets of the French capital behind the wheel of her taxi. Students at McKinley High School in Chicago are sent home in 1946 for wearing pants and jeans, violating the dress code. Wearing traditionally male clothing was considered inappropriate for girls at the time. John D. Rockefeller, then one of the richest men in the world with a fortune of approximately $1.4 billion, hands a 5-cent coin to a child in 1929, a symbolic gesture he frequently made. The director of the Belgrade Zoo attempts to convince a runaway chimpanzee to come down from a rooftop in 1988. The animal, appearing thoughtful, observes the offer as the unusual negotiation unfolds high above the city. Nurses hold newborn triplets while a shocked father appears to faint upon seeing them in a New York hospital in 1946. The unexpected arrival of 3 babies at once clearly caught him by surprise. Cairo Mary, a bouncer at Shanghai Red's Bar in San Pedro, California, escorts a customer out in 1953. Known for her strength and personality, she was feared by those who crossed the line at the famous establishment. Samuel Reshevsky, at 8 years old, plays multiple chess masters simultaneously in 1920. Considered a prodigy, he was already challenging top players of the time, impressing with his talent and strategy. Winston Churchill, sitting in a military vehicle, accepts a light from a smiling man in the crowd. The British Prime Minister, always with his iconic cigar, shares a casual moment in the midst of the war. Charles Thompson greets his new classmates at Public School number 27 in September 1954, just months after the Supreme Court declared racial segregation unconstitutional. He was the only African-American child at the school. This is Robert Wadlow, the tallest man who ever lived. Born in
To musel být stejně zajímavý, být nejvyšší chlap, ale a i vysoká baba tak je.
In 1918, he reached an astonishing height of 8 feet 11 inches due to uncontrolled growth caused by hyperplasia of the pituitary gland.
ceny všech
Rush
věcí na
hour
něj
in
musí být
Rome,
drahý jak svině.
1959. Amid the chaotic traffic of the Italian capital, a driver steps out of his car and gestures impatiently, capturing the expressive and lively spirit of Italians. The quality control room at EMI around 1965. A worker inspects the Beatles' vinyl records, ensuring each copy meets standards before reaching the stores. A driving candidate takes a test in a simulator in Hungary in the 1980s. Systems like these helped assess beginner drivers using rudimentary technology before real-world practice. Behind the scenes of the Batman TV series from 1966 show Adam West and Burt Ward filming an iconic scene.
Nice.
To create the illusion of climbing buildings, the production used simple tricks, like tilting the camera and a painted backdrop. Albert Einstein and his wife Elsa visit the Hopi tribe at the Grand Canyon, Arizona, in 1931. During the trip, Einstein learned about local customs and observed cultural performances by indigenous people. A woman and a child ride a ski lift without any safety bars in Jackson, Wyoming in 1965. At the time, regulations were less strict, and scenes like this were common at ski resorts and tourist parks. Inventor Alan Hazard tests his experimental lunar suit in a lava crater in the
Protože lidi nebyli blbí a neskákali dolů, teďkon bychom skočili, protože deprese, ale.
Mojave Desert in 1962.
Sorry,
the innovative design included oxygen and food supplies, simulating conditions for future space missions. A family poses for a photo wearing masks during the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. Even the pet cat appears masked, reflecting the widespread concern about virus transmission at the time. Two women exchange boxing blows on a rooftop, while others watch in 1938. The unusual scene shows the growing female interest in sports at the time, challenging traditional norms. Sigourney Weaver poses for her high school yearbook photo in 1967 with the caption, "Please God, please don't let me be normal." Years later, she would become a film icon in Alien and other hits. A woman holds a sign warning beachgoers with the message, "You're going to hell," on Miami Beach in the 1980s. Meanwhile, people continue enjoying the sun without paying much attention to the protest. Lyndon B. Johnson gestures and shouts at nearby pilots to turn off their engines so John F. Kennedy can speak in 1960. Beside him, JFK tries to calm him down during the presidential campaign. A teenager, with the help of his friends, balances himself to deliver flowers to Princess Diana in 1989. Smiling, she receives the bouquet, while military personnel watch the scene with amusement. Big J. McNeely plays his saxophone lying on the stage, while fans cheer at a concert in Los Angeles in 1951. Known for his energy and theatrical performances, McNeely captivated audiences with his passionate jazz performances. Children wear minobashi, traditional straw rain capes, while walking through the snow to a...
Krutý, zajímavý, dál už pokračovat nebudem, protože mě palí oči. Je to zajímavý, určitě se tady na to video koukněte. Doufám, že ho nezapomenu dát do popisku, ale nejspíš ho zapomenu dát do popisku, takže History in Focus. These old photos will change your perspective. Jinak, jo, díky za sledování, uvidíme se v dalšího videa. Rozhodně nevím, jestli mě changenuli, tady ta skoro půlka fotek to nadhled nebo vnímání minulosti. Hodně žen dělalo práci, kterou teď dělají chlapy, a baby teď, kdyby uměli dělat, tak by se posrali. Sorry jako, ale je to pravda. A jo, protože v té době nebylo řečený, že třeba určitý váhy můžou brát to chlapy, určitý váhy, nebo po určitou váhu může zvedat baba, po určitou váhu může zvedat chlap. A tady ty sračky. Jo. Díky za zhlédnutí, uvidíme se v dalšího videa. Zatím čus.